Yeah, I think we should start with the rumored Apple Glass, because I think that's
Apple
the most
Glass.
interesting out of everything
Okay.
we have here.
Okay, let's do a little refresher. So,
Yeah.
a few years ago, don't recall the exact year. Help me out, Colton. When did Google Glass come out? I was still in high school, I
Yeah,
thought.
dude. Google Glass came out when I was in like junior high.
Yeah, I
let's
was still
put
firmly in high school.
let's put 2012 on it, even though it's probably a year or two before that.
Okay, remember, there's speculation here, just speculating.
Mm-hmm.
So Google Glass came out a while ago. It is strictly for business use.
Yes, now.
It's
It
not
is
a
now.
consumer product. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
now. Thank you. And it's got some really good specs. It runs on Android Oreo. It's a Qualcomm quad-core 1.7 gigahertz processor. It's got some good memory storage, 3 gigs. It's got Wi-Fi, the 802.11ac, so the normal general Wi-Fi we see in our computers.
Mm-hmm.
Display is 640 by 360, which, to my understanding, would be a good majority of that glass.
Yeah. I mean, the Google Glass, they have the little projector on it. I'm not sure
hmm
exactly how it works. If you just look in the little square glass or if it actually projects onto the lens. I would imagine it's on the lens, but I could be wrong. We've never used it. But
I'd love to.
yeah,
Google,
it'd be
help me
pretty
out.
interesting. Too bad we can't because it's now enterprise exclusive.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about the rumored Apple Glass is that it doesn't necessarily say it's going to be consumer grade, but because of the rumored price of $499 and prescription lenses being included for extra cost, it's highly likely that it's going to be a consumer product.
Yeah, they're kind of pushing that way. I think it'd be really great to have a product like this on the consumer level.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to rely on a paired iPhone, similar to the Apple Watch,
Mm-hmm.
per the article.
Yes.
Uh, Gotta clarify that.
Yes, per article. And we are on macrumors.com, by the way, everybody. And if you were curious, these are leaked by John Prosser. And these are alleged details that were supposed to come out at the One More Thing Apple event, which is now postponed for March 2021.
Yeah. Which is sad. I was kind of hoping to see what they were going to do because they have the new phone on the horizon as well, which we
Mm-hmm.
are also talking about in this video.
Yes.
And I want to see what they're going to do with that. The presentations are always just so good.
Mm-hmm. Can't agree.
They're always well put together. They have the good framework. It's so great. It's like a work of art, man.
Yeah,
They
it's
must
pretty
have
cool.
aced their presentation classes.
Yeah. And I also wanted to bring up the one part about the supposed alleged early prototype featuring the LiDAR and wireless charging. But Austin's going to talk about the LiDAR a little bit because he actually knew what it was before I had to Google search it. so Austin, if you can explain to the people what LiDAR is.
Okay, so per Google, LiDAR stands for light detection and ranging. It's a remote sensing method that uses light in the form of a pulsed laser to measure the range. So, what's a good way to put all that together, Colton? Let's see here. Basically, when you see the pictures on Google, it reminds me a little bit of infrared.
Okay.
Not quite the same, but I clicked on a picture here. It shows that it uses a different color light signal to show the depth.
Okay.
So you got the red up close, yellow, green, going down to blue. You got a light yellow in the back. It seems to be how it detects the technology.
Okay. Okay. And that's the one thing that's interesting about these types of products is that they're so new still, and even at the enterprise level, I would imagine there's a lot of not necessarily proprietary stuff going on, but it's more enterprise focused, which makes it, I guess, easier to tailor things to. But in the consumer market, yeah, there's things you can tailor to, but it'd be really interesting to see what this technology is going to be capable of. And the crazy part is that if they were already going to have announced this, it means that it's like ready for launch, which is crazy.
It's nuts.
So, talking current day, we're talking about 8 years, maybe longer after Google Glass initially was announced to the market. And I don't know. Let's be honest. Google Glass completely flopped when it first came out.
The price point was too high.
Yes, and it was still an interesting space that nobody probably really understood yet. Like, it was a cool idea. I completely understand why they went enterprise route only, but from a consumer standpoint, it really didn't make sense to buy it. Like, the only relevant thing would have maybe been music listening, if that was even a thing at the time, and using Google Maps. But, for the time that it was, smartphone technology wasn't even that advanced yet. So, I think it was too early for its time. But now that it's gone enterprise, they've probably worked with it a lot. And now that Apple is trying to get into this game, especially with AR and VR becoming super hyped the past few years, I think this is going to be very interesting, especially with such a compelling price point.
Yeah. And fun fact for you, Colton.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you think uses LiDAR technology?
Sorry?
What else do you think uses the LiDAR technology?
What else do I think uses it?
Take a guess, man. You got this.
Take a
You know it.
Yeah, I know it. What?
Oh, yeah.
Tesla cameras.
Tesla self-driving cars.
There you go.
Just the self-driving technology is engineered through this.
Okay. So that's interesting how you bring that up. Because Tesla is already known for great software in that type of space, which means down to a consumer model, they can do some crazy stuff with these glasses.
Yep. I would say that the technology, and again, I don't know the specs, I don't know exactly if there's a certain power that you have to control a Tesla car with LiDAR
Yeah.
versus the glasses you're going to have, because you wouldn't need that level of
Right.
tech for your
Right.
glasses.
Exactly. And
But then what's the goal of it?
the goal of Google Glass?
The goal of LiDAR within Google Glass.
Oh, other than an AR VR experience, I don't know. It's hard to say because you know how on Amazon where you can like quote view the product in your room.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe something like that, but with the glasses. But other than that, I really don't see there being an actual reason for it. I don't know. And then, like I said, with Google Glass, they had the maps capability, so I could see that still. But other than that, I really don't understand what they would do visually with it. But, I mean, it's not going to be for everybody because it's definitely going to be a very, very niche market, especially at a consumer level. So, I don't know. It really depends on what people do with it. I mean, take Snapchat spectacles, for example, right? You took pictures and videos with it. They posted as the circle crop. And that was it. But it was cool. And people appreciated it when it was in its prime time. But it's not really in a prime time anymore. It was really only a thing for that summer. You know what I mean? Like back in like 2017, maybe it was. But it was cool. And I mean, that's all that matters is it going to be compelling enough for people to buy? Especially, like I said, for a price of $4.99.
Yeah. And it just got to last a little while. It's got to have enough hype to make a second gen.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, Colton.
Mm-hmm.
Me and you, we use the same phone.
Mm-hmm.
We're both Samsung guys.
Yes.
Would you switch to iPhone
No.
to use this if it was a amazing product, if it did everything and more that you would want?
No. As much as I would want them, if they do turn out to be great, I am not switching to an iPhone because the software, to my personal preference, is just too limiting for me. Android is just supreme for me compared to iOS. For all you listening, I'm sorry to say, iOS personally, to me, trash.
Trash.
Trash. I'm sorry.
Calling you guys out.
I'm sorry. No, I'm calling Apple out. But it's it's the same reason why I'm PC over Mac. I mean, there's just less limitations when it comes to security and certain protocols. Because I mean, you know what I mean, and I'm sure the people listening know what I mean. Now, Austin, let me flip it back to you, my guy. Would you, and like I said, especially for a very compelling price of $4.99, let's be realistic, that's cheap for a pair of tech glasses. If they were to your liking and you wanted them super bad, would you switch to iOS?
If they were, to take Colton's word from the last series of podcasts, if they were impeccable.
Oof.
I mean, to a T, they had everything that I could dream of wanting. And more. And if they did a bundle with the glasses
Interesting.
and the watch,
Okay.
I'd think about it.
You would think about it.
I would think about it. Now, I don't know if I'd actually convert. I don't know if I'd sin.
I like what you did there.
But maybe, I mean, because I like the Apple Watches. To me, they have the watch market beat. But I love my Samsung phone.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this. Like AirPods, would you get Apple Glass if they were insanely cool and they were, like I said, like AirPods, where you can use them on Android, but certain features are limited?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. I think I would also do the same thing, to be honest with you.
Even if they told me that I have half the features, if those features were key enough to my use, I would certainly do it. I think it's bad to make any product proprietary to one specific software.
Yeah. Apple.
It just causes you lose a market share.
Fair enough.
So if they would make this compatible with Android, even to a minute degree, as well as iOS, I think that'd be huge.
Yeah. And I think it obviously comes down to what are they going to offer. Because, Google Glass, they had some interesting stuff, but it wasn't really for the consumer market. And now that music streaming is a huge thing, wireless accessories are a huge thing, like Apple Watches and stuff like that. And it's really going to come down to the core features. And it's kind of hard to say what those core features are going to be, because the only mainstream competitor out there is so old and not even a consumer product anymore.
Exactly. And that product has very good features. I mean, going down the list, they're at Bluetooth 5.0. They have, what was at the bottom?
Are you talking about Google Glass?
Yes, they have a USB-C.
Yeah. I actually made a YouTube video about this when they went enterprise. And for anybody curious, and there was a specific stat in my video where there was a person working on a server rack, right? And they did the work with the manual, like just the manual, no glasses. And then they did the same work with the manual on the Google glasses. And the result turned out that the worker did the work 30% quicker with the glasses than without the glasses. So, it really depends on what you're using these for, but they can honestly be a real game changer in certain aspects.
Absolutely. Now, I have another good question here for you. Or I think it's a good question.
Okay.
What do you think they're going to do with returns on prescription Apple Glass?
So, this is interesting because Google Glass does not have this. Or at least they didn't on the consumer level, because there was actually no lenses. If you remember, it was just the nose piece with, well, actually there was some with actual frames, but they were plastic lenses. So, but with prescription lens changes,
That's going to be hard.
I'm sure they're going to have, well, it's hard to say because there's some glasses websites to where you can send them your prescription and they'll send you the glasses. So you don't even have to go to an eye doctor, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine Apple's going to go down that route. So really only people with, some minor reading or distance vision are probably going to use the prescription models. But, for people that are like disgustingly nearsighted like me, like it's hard to say. Because people also wear contacts, and then you can wear contacts with a regular Google Glass, We're also speculating that there is going to be a version, or there's going to be not a version without lenses. So there's also that regard we're keeping up in the air here. But like I said, this stuff is all rumored. But considering when the announcement was supposed to happen, these these speculations are probably more fact than fiction.
We hope. I hope.
So we shall see. I mean, we shall see.
Yeah, I hope that, with this being a market, and if this all comes to light and becomes true and not fiction, we can expect to see, potentially, Apple stands at eye doctors' offices.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that'll definitely happen.
And that'll be very interesting.
Yeah. If they get to be of that value, not only will the price probably go up, but yeah, they'll definitely show up at eye doctors.
But, I mean, so at that point, you're selling a piece of technology.
Yes.
Which means you need staff that understands that technology.
Yes. I mean, it's just another worker. Or maybe, just some videos sent to the eye doctor. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see, yeah. It's going to be good. I like it.
Yeah.
I do like it.